Good morning, beautiful people. So one of the most requested videos I've had for a long time is to eat on a budget, because it's no secret that the kind of vegan diet lifestyle that I choose to eat can be quite pricey. It just is, right? Because I consume a lot of fresh produce on a daily basis. I'm talking a lot of dark leafy greens, different colorful vegetables, lots of fresh fruits, herbs, nuts, seeds, some convenient stuff as well, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I'm not the kind of person that wastes a lot of money on organic produce, because to be honest, there are very few things which I actually buy organic. Carrots being the main one, just because it tastes like a different vegetable when it's like organic versus not organic, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, in general, the vegan diet that I present to you in my What I Ate in a Days is exactly how I eat on a regular basis, but it can be seen as quite pricey, and I'm in no denial about this. Like, I know the way that I choose to eat and the way that I love to eat is not accessible, reasonably priced for a lot of people. So you guys have been requesting since day dot that I do a full day of eating, but on a budget, and still make it delicious. Because the thing is, right, so many people do these budget videos, and I've done them myself in the past, where you try and eat for like under $5 for a day, or £5 because I'm from the UK. But the emphasis and the goal of today's video is not to make it as cheap as possible, because again, like I said, if I really wanted to eat in under $5 a day, I could do it. I just wouldn't enjoy it that much, you know? So today I'm gonna show you how you can eat a very reasonable, realistic, pretty cheap vegan diet, but the food is still gonna taste absolute bomb. All the meals are gonna be delicious. So yeah, the goal today is to keep it as cheap as possible, but whilst making the meals absolutely delicious. Like, the meals I'm gonna show you today, you wouldn't think you're on a budget. You would think you were in a 5-star hotel getting served gourmet food. I got this big bag of white potatoes, because white potatoes are a lot cheaper than sweet potatoes. So yeah, 2.5 kilos of potatoes, only £2. And this could feed, I was gonna say it could feed a family for a few days. It couldn't. It could feed me for one day, but it's still cheap. Go on then, say hi. This is your moment of fame, babe. Claim to fame. So yeah, when you are being wise on a vegan diet and you're watching your budget and you still want to keep it nutritious, some of the foods you really want to focus on are like potatoes, the cheaper fruits like bananas and dates, obviously lots and lots of legumes. I've got some chickpeas and some red, what are these called? Red kidney beans, which I'm gonna use later to make a bomb chili. And like I said, there is gonna be a lot of goodness, fresh fruits and vegetables in this video, just not to the extent that I would usually consume, because you all know, like, usually I would start the day with a giant watermelon with lime spritzed over the top, big fancy smoothie bowls. My salads, I would put like 2 heads of romaine in each one, and then with like a plethora, is that the right word? I'm gonna go with it. A plethora of other colorful vegetables and tofu and sweet potato. Obviously industrial quantities of tahini and nut butter. So today I'm gonna kind of rein it in. Still gonna have that stuff, but mainly gonna focus on the cheaper foods to bump up the meals, to bulk up the meals, and we're gonna create some magic. Guys, can you see my watermelons in the background? They're always in the background, but like, I'm so tempted to just cheat and have a watermelon off camera. But I won't. In my opinion, there is no excuse for people that say they don't have the means to buy any fresh produce and therefore they have to eat a beige, boring, crappy diet. Because for example, this bunch of bananas, very nice ripe sweet bananas, 5 bananas was only 50p. That's half the price of a candy bar. That's a 1/6 or a 1/7 of the price of a coffee from Starbucks, which gives you 0 nutrition. So it's all about the wise choices, and it's all about making it taste good. Very good. Sharon fruit are one of my favorite fruits in the whole world, and they're usually pretty pricey, and they're quite small fruits as well. But again, if you look around for bargains, this morning I was in M&S and I literally bought about 20 packs of these, not for this video, just to stock up, because they were reduced to 65p, which is very incredible for such a delicious. I'm actually salivating. Anyways, I hope you're ready for breakfast, because I'm hungry, so let's do this. If you're wondering why I'm leaning over like this, it's because I'm trying to dodge the sun. I've said this before, but this kitchen is like a greenhouse. The ceiling is covered in windows, so I'm always just trying to dodge the light. One other thing I wanted to say was, even some of the most nutritious vegetables in this world which most people would see as like a luxury food. For example, a whole head of broccoli. If you go to the right stores, you can get a whole head for just 50p. A whole head. Again, that's half the price of a candy bar. Guys, it's less than a pack of gum. And I would know because I buy gum, so even broccoli you can get very cheap. At least in the UK anyway. A great tip for getting lots of nutrition into your meals and saving money is to grow your own sprouts. We've only just started doing this. Here we have some green lentils, and these are, to be honest, I don't know what these are. I'll put it on the screen because Jill made them. But literally you put them a tiny bit in these jars, and then 2 or 3 days later, they are just full of sprouts, which are some of the most nutritious foods in the world. You can sprinkle them over your salads, put them on anything, put them in sandwiches. Update on the sprouts, guys. This is just 24 hours later, and look, these jars are pretty much full. They've like quadrupled in size. Fascinating. Oh my god, how am I gonna film in here today with this light? I was praying, even though I love the sun and hate it when it's rainy, I was praying that it would be rainy today so that I could film without the sun being in my face, but apparently that's not possible. After every meal, I'll put on the screen the exact amount that it came to. Remember that I do eat quite a bit, so you might need to eat less than me, so therefore your version would be even cheaper. So for breakfast, I was thinking I'm going to make a shake predominantly based... Oh my god, the sun is moving. Do you know what? I'm just gonna lean, just gonna be casual. Thumbnail right there. So for breakfast, I'm going to make a thick, creamy milkshake made from some bananas. I'm going to use some fresh and frozen. Again, they are the cheapest fruit in the world. Full of goodness, full of minerals, potassium. Pretty high calorie fruit as well, so you get a lot of bang for your buck. Bang for your pound in the UK. I'm going to make it a high protein shake so that it's very satiating and keeps me full up for a long time. Protein powder I'm going to use, because we all know protein powder can be quite pricey, is the Ritual from Vivo Life. This is the vanilla flavor. They also have double chocolate, not double chocolate, dark chocolate. And the reason I'm using this range, whereas usually I would use the Perform, you know, the salted caramel maca, or the Madagascar vanilla, the banana cinnamon flavors, they're a bit more pricey and they contain all of the, hate to say it, but I'm gonna trigger Abby Sharp, superfoods, things like mushrooms, turmeric, all of that kind of stuff. This range, the Ritual range, is a lot more basic, but it's very nutritious and tasty. It's based on pea and hemp protein, so I'm going to use a scoop of that. And I would definitely recommend, if you're looking for a good, healthy, clean, love triggering people with that word, clean. So yeah, if you are looking for a cheaper but good quality vegan protein powder, I would definitely recommend this Ritual range, which I'll leave down below. Just remembered, if you've seen my vlog from 2 weeks ago, I'll leave it linked down below. The one where I was basically just vlogging and eating food and went to the fruit market. I bought this massive box of Sukari dates, which are literally the best dates in the whole world. I mean, there are literally hundreds of dates in here. And I got this whole box for about... Babe, how much was this box? Now that you've stolen my thunder.
Sorry.
How much was this box?
Like £5?
£5 for literally hundreds of dates. And they are the best dates in the whole world, so good. Speaking of getting cheaper fresh produce at the markets, this giant head of dill, which you all know, like, dill is my favorite herb by far. I would never live without it. I also can't be friends with anyone that doesn't like dill. I've spoken about this multiple times before and everyone thinks I'm joking, but I've actually ended relationships with people that don't like dill, so watch out. Right off the bat, a nice bruised banana. It's gonna be sweet though. Gonna put about 4 or 5 bananas in. And a frozen one to make it nice and creamy. This peanut butter, guys, this peanut butter. Half of the price, which means I can eat twice as much, right? Yeah. Gonna put in a couple of teaspoons of ground flax. This is really important for omega-3s, pretty high in protein as well. I think that's just a great tip overall. Always put a little bit of flax in your smoothies. 1 scoop of the Ritual vanilla protein powder. Gonna put in 3 of these Sukari dates, which literally just taste like pure sugar. Again, dates can be quite expensive, quite bougie, but if you go to a market, buy a big box, these are cheap as fuck. Usually I would use plant milk in my smoothies. I just feel like, and my oatmeal too when I make it, I just feel like it makes it so much more creamy and sweet. But as we're on a budget today, we already got a bunch of sweet, good ingredients in the blender. Just gonna use some water today, it's still gonna taste incredible. Look at that. Didn't even measure it. It's always the frothy bits on the top which I'm after. That's a 10 out of 10 smoothie, my friends, and it cost me. Guys, I love Sharon fruit so much that I try to look like one. Thumbs up button right now. This smoothie, guys, this smoothie. Full of nutrition, healthy carbs, healthy fats, protein. Most importantly, it tastes bomb. It tastes like, this is kind of gonna sound bad, but it kind of reminds me of, do you remember the banana milkshakes from McDonald's? Yes, those crappy ones. It tastes like that, but healthy. Anyways, I'm gonna go slurp, and I'll see you at lunch. Cheers. Would you look at that bright orange color? That's when you know. Like I said earlier, these Sharon fruit are usually quite a luxury, but they're on offer right now, so. The fact that these were on sale this morning really saved my life. These are literally the most beautiful fruits in the whole world. Cheers. One of my favorite snacks of all time is dates with peanut butter. Peanut butter. And again, dates are often thought of as kind of a luxury food, but if you buy them in bulk, they're very cheap. Get yourself a good plain peanut butter and just dunk away. Cheers. So for lunch, I'm going to make, I think I might have said this earlier, but I'm making a chili, which is a great meal to make if you are on a budget, because the stuff you're throwing in there is very nutritious, like the beans, well, it's mainly beans and tomatoes and a few other veggies. You can make a big batch and just warm it up throughout the next few days. It's high in protein, good quality complex carbohydrates, very nutritious, delicious meal for a very low price. The amount I'm gonna make today makes multiple servings for a normal person. Don't know how many servings it will last me. And I've also put some of those big white baking potatoes in the oven. So I'm gonna make them nice and crispy on the outside, moist on the inside, and then stuff them with the chili, some avocado, a nice creamy dressing. I'm really feeling this. Oh, also, I guess I should have said, I don't actually know how to make chili. I just know the ingredients that go in it. So by no means am I claiming that this is a authentic chili, so please don't get offended. I mean, people get offended with everything these days because people just love to be offended. Basically today I'm not following a recipe, I'm just throwing things in, but trust me, it's gonna be delicious, nutritious, and that's the main thing. Gonna cut this broccoli pretty fine so it's like little trees in the mix. Starting off with some garlic infused olive oil. Just gonna fry these off a little bit till they're a bit translucent. All right, let's add in the spices. Let's add in the flavor, baby. Garlic. A little bit of tomato puree for extra flavor. A little splash of balsamic vinegar to bring out the sweetness. See you in 20 minutes. Guys, these potatoes are perfectly squishy. They're gonna be like fluffy and creamy within. Always gotta have some creamy avocado with any kind of lunch. I know this is a budget video. Avocados are not cheap, but for me, I would make, oh, look at that. That's a beautiful creamy one as well. For me, I would make any sacrifice to have at least half an avocado a day, because to me it's just the most beautiful fruit, fatty fruit, whatever you want to call it in the whole world. And it goes with everything. Just chopping up a little bit of this dark, mineral-rich, fresh dill. A little drizzle of sriracha for a little kick. And of course, you knew I was gonna allow a drizzle of good liquid gold into this budget. You best believe. Would you look at that beautiful. Do you know what, guys? I thought I'd never say this, but I'm actually starting to become more of a white potato person. A white potato person? You know what I mean. This variety though, with the really creamy flesh, they're even just nice on their own, like, doesn't even need salt. White potato and dill as well. What a combo. All right, so just a quick rundown. In the chili, I have got chickpeas, red kidney beans, onion, broccoli. What else did I put in? Canned tomatoes, tomato puree. I'll put the full measurements in ingredients, instructions, all that kind of stuff down below. Oh yeah, and the spices I used was cumin, cinnamon, sweet smoked paprika, garlic, salt, pepper. The olive oil I used was also garlic infused, so it's kind of garlicky. And I kind of love it. And then of course, I've added some creamy Hass avocado. Even if I was on like a £5 budget, I would still manage. I'd still make it happen, you know? I'd still get avocado in there somehow. A little sprinkle of fresh dill, drizzle of sriracha, and some good runny liquid gold, which is the best tahini in the whole world, and I'll leave the link down below. You always see my meals and how I present them with a drizzle of tahini, but then when I eat through them, I add a lot more. I literally just start dunking things in the jar. White potatoes, beans, canned tomatoes, all that kind of stuff. They're some of the cheapest foods in the world. And beans, potatoes, some of the most nutritious foods in the world as well. Do you know what? I did buy some iceberg because I thought it was like the cheapest green I could have. But I think I'm gonna save it till dinner, so cheers. So yeah, in total this meal cost me, I don't know what it cost me now, but editing Miles will know, so I'll put it on the screen. What I normally do with stuff like chili when I'm warming it up, I don't put it back in a pan. I spread it out on a baking tray and then roast it in the oven, and it gets like a crispy top coating. I know it sounds weird to bake. It actually, does it sound weird? I swear baked chili's a thing. But anyways, when you warm the leftovers up, trust me, put it in the oven. It's like next level of food pleasure. Cheers. I'll see you at... God, I thought this was a full day of eating. So usually next it would be the nut butter review, but I'll see you at dinner. Okay, so for my budget dinner, which, do you know what? I'm actually kind of realizing that some of the meals, well, all of the meals that I've eaten today so far are actually quite normal for me. I've realized that I do eat these kind of meals all the time, but it's just with the addition of more expensive fresh produce in larger amounts, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, for dinner I'm making some pasta, like I think I said at the beginning. Some of the most cheap, healthy and accessible foods for everyone are dried staples like beans, legumes, whole grains, all that kind of stuff. So for dinner I'm going to keep it really simple, and I am making pasta, but with the nutrition, the protein bumped up. If I were to just make regular wheat pasta, there's no way in hell this meal would fill me up. But when you use a bean or a legume pasta, today I'm using red lentil pasta, because of the high protein content and the fiber is a lot higher, it makes the meal a lot more satiating, keeps you fuller for longer. In my opinion, it's much more delicious as well. And anyway, with that being said, the best part of any pasta dish is the sauce. And the sauce that I'm going to whip up for this particular concoction is actually quite genius and very cheap. We're also going to get some veggies in here, absolutely essential. Like I said, I'm not trying to deprive myself and eat the cheapest way in the whole world, just trying to keep it realistically cheap but also nutritious. So I still have some of the broccoli florets, which I'm going to toss with the pasta and the sauce. Also, you might have noticed that, I mean, I said this at the beginning as well, a large part of my diet is usually dark leafy greens like romaine. Babe, how many heads of romaine do I eat a day?
Like 2 to 3.
Or sometimes 4. A large part of my diet is always a lot of dark leafy greens, and obviously they can be quite pricey. And this morning I was adamant that I was going to have some kind of leafy crunch, but on the cheap. So I've got some iceberg. I know iceberg doesn't taste of much, but it is cheap, it does bump it up, it does add a refreshing crunch. I do eat pasta for dinner or for lunch quite a lot, but I guess I would bump it up with a lot more colourful veggies, usually like sun-dried tomatoes, some kind of pesto. I'd usually throw tofu in there as well. But yeah, even with a very simple 4-ingredient meal, if you are using a pasta that's higher in protein and a lot more nutritious, I don't know where I was going with that, but this meal is going to be bomb, so... Big dollops of hummus. Telling you guys, best creamy sauce ever. Just use hummus. A little bit of fresh lime juice, salt, sweet chili sauce.
Trust me, this works. And a little bit of fresh dill. Always more dill. Having the other half of the avocado. Our avocado from earlier. I don't care what my budget was, I would always make room for avocado. Do you know what, guys? I'm gonna get a little bit fancy. This needs a good balsamic glaze, I feel. Beautiful. It adds a nice little bit of sweetness and it just like, takes it to the next level, like, And that, my friends, is my 4 ingredient, now 5 ingredient dinner. Cheap, simple, fresh, and bloody tasty. Do you know what, that's actually really nice. The creaminess of that sauce with the avo. It's just beautiful.
I would just like to say on reflection that I did eat very well on this day, as in I enjoyed every single mouthful. Everything tasted amazing. The grand total with snacks came to, let me just check my phone. So yeah, the total was £6.30. In dollars, that's $8.71. And you know what? I ate good. I ate big as well. Did I miss my giant watermelons? Yes. Did I miss my dark leafy green salads, which like are big enough for 10 people? Yes. But did I also feel satisfied? Yes. Guys, the mess under this hood. The thing is, I've always said that a vegan diet can be very cheap, but I'm just open and honest about the fact that I usually consume a lot of fresh produce, but you don't have to eat in the exact same way that I do to be healthy or nourished or satisfied on a vegan diet. You can still eat abundant and delicious for a very cheap price. So with that being said, I love you all and I'll see you on the next video. Laters.